So why do they call you Sheer Tarah?
It's just like I don't remember who said it first, but I didn't. It's just a spin-off of the band Sheer Tarah.
I know that. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, because my name's Tara, and it works.
Nice.
Were you?
I
just didn't know if you were like a big fan.
It is also tattooed on my toe knuckles.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
I definitely like Sheer Tarah. They're not like my favorite band or anything.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. Because obviously, I don't
I mean, you can't tattoo without like a brutal nickname, I'm pretty sure. So,
Right, like, is that a stigma too? You know what I mean? Like, is there a stigma about having to be a tough bitch when you're a tattooer? You know what I mean? Or is it like, it not that way anymore?
No.
Because obviously back in the day it was that way. You know what I mean? Like,
no, tattooing is much more like highbrow now.
Right. Yeah, it's yeah. Yep.
You're expected to be like comforting and friendly, which I struggle with sometimes.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
a lot of times people come to a girl because they want you to like talk to them for 30 minutes about their idea and feel special and
Sure.
coddle.
Yeah, it's a coddling process. You have to make them feel like they're the most important person in your life. And again, I do that as a barber too. So it's like the service industry in general, people want you to make them feel like you've never cut anyone else's hair or tattooed anyone else. It's the only person.
That's how you made me feel earlier, dude?
Well, yeah, but the other thing that I made you feel was nothing to do with a haircut. You know what I mean?
Weirdo. So yeah, but all right. So getting into it. So when did you start tattooing? What year did you start?
It's on if you guys want to. You'll hear yourself.
Oh yeah.
That'll probably weird me out. Oh yeah, I definitely don't like that.
You don't have to. Then we'll just.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just keep that close enough. It's more so you don't realize if you're yelling or not. You know?
Yeah, it's all right. It doesn't matter.
So, yeah.
I probably should because I do yell.
You can get used to it.
So I started when I was 21.
How do you sound in the mic?
Weird.
Sound weird.
Like I'm in a tunnel.
Right,
You can pull it closer if you feel like it's echoing.
I want to push it away.
No, you sound that sounds fine. That's perfect. All right, so when did you start?
I was 21.
Okay.
And I did it in Hudson, and I would take the train or drive because it's pretty far from Rensselaer.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so what shop was it at a specific shop?
It was called Atomic Inc. And it was owned by these two guys, Randy and Rick, co-ownership. They didn't hire me right away. I spent a few days off of my waitressing job, driving up there and showing them drawings, which they told me sucked.
No
And then they said,
shit.
go finish these and bring them back. And I kept doing that. And I can't say my drawings ever stopped sucking, but I kept trying. And eventually they called me one day and said, you can start next week if you want.
No shit.
So obviously they sucked less. At least.
Or I just kept trying.
Right.
The one guy told me later he really just hired me because we had like a mutual friend who, gave me a good word. Like anything, It's who you know sometimes.
Yeah, true.
Sure, but if that's your breaking point into the industry, it's not a bad way to get in, especially if you, was it a reputable shop at the time?
Yeah, they're both good tattooers. They both
Sweet.
still tattoo.
So it's not a bad way to get in,
No, the shop didn't stay open for like very long past once I started tattooing.
Oh, really?
And that was kind of... So then I took a break and until I went to Modern the first time.
Sure.
When it was on Howard Street.
Yeah, we're going back 6 years ago, I would say.
That's more than 7 years ago.
Yeah, when we started, and then when we ended was about 7 years ago, I'd say. Because my son's 4, and he was born right after I left there.
So you guys started
Oh, no,
at the same time?
I worked there when it was on Howard,
that's
not
right,
North
that's right.
When
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just me, Josh, and Chris.
Right, and not even Jeff.
Jeff was after that.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, that was the...
Actually,
and then you came back.
At the time, I think Jeff worked at this place in Catskill with Rick.
Sure. Okay.
The same guy that taught me.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny how, different people will get their influences from the same people or the same origin, you know what I mean?
Same
couple
artists.
of people, yeah. And then you'll see it branch out. So it's cool how art is kind of influential like that, where you'll get a piece of it sometimes, but sometimes it's, you brush it all off. You take some of the technique and then you brush it all off,
Yeah, don't hit that.
Yeah, so in that short period of
Italian
time,
names.
I had Randy, Rick, and Chris all, 3 different people that I watched tattoo, and they all tattooed so differently.
Sure, yeah.
And
So
then
now how
think
did that
that's
affect
affected you?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say, how does that
Absolutely.
affect your style?
I wouldn't say that I felt like I had an actual grasp on getting the right information out of each person.
Sure.
Until I had worked at 2 or 3 more shops.
Right.
Or around a few other people.
Yeah, you need to get that kind of life experience on the job.
Plus back then tattooing in general was not as busy as it is now.
Sure.
You didn't
Had
have
time.
Yeah.
You had time to kind of sit and watch. Right.
You did a rib people got their ribs tattooed once every 6 months, not 6 in a day.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I don't even think I remember doing a rib tattoo as an apprentice, to be honest.
Holy
and
shit.
Nowadays, it would be like the first thing you do just because that's what people want.
All right, so through your apprentice process, how do you work up to that point? Like, so they obviously have you go back, work on your drawings, right? So you work on your drawings, they come back and hire you. Now, do you just start tattooing people? Or do you
So it's funny I said that they trashed my drawings because I don't think we ever really worked on drawing in my apprenticeship after that.
Oh, really?
We worked on, like, the trade of tattooing.
Well, right. Well, getting the skill down.
Yeah, it was a different thing, right?
I did citrus, like grapefruit, like twice, and then I went right to a person.
No shit.
Yeah, she's done citrus and fake skin a couple times.
Okay, so by the way, everybody, we're here with Tara Horan and Colby Crescent from what's your shop?
See, he referred to me by my Bort name, and he referred to you by your sick tat name.
Okay, so
you're like already legitimized.
My apologies. So I wasn't sure if Sheer Tarah was the proper way to address you. You know what I mean?
Come on,
so
Kenny, you gotta come on.
I didn't know. That's my bad. You know, I fucked up there.
Maybe you thought Crescent was her really last name.
A brutal.
Well, I mean,
nickname,
it
man.
could be possible, but you know, it was more of I know you, so you know.
I got it.
Yeah, no
But
doubt.
no, Sheer Tarah.
So you start on pigs, or what would you say?
No, not pigskin.
So it's what would you say? She start face
grapefruit.
skin and grapefruit, right?
Yeah.
So what is that like? So what's that texture like? What is it made out of?
That's a good question. We both have guinea pigs right now that are made out of the fake skin. So you can tattoo. It's a complete guinea pig.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's a really
That's
interesting.
pretty
Of all the animals,
You can get like hands and arms and shit.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's pretty cool, and it's similar to human flesh.
Not at all.
No,
It's like tattooing a Goodyear tire more than just like tattooing a person. It's more about, like, I guess just holding the machine. I mean,
getting comfortable.
Yeah, getting comfortable with it, sure.
like
That's
for
cool.
me to tattoo one of those things, I find it difficult, or at least I haven't tattooed enough pound of fleshes to discover. That's why it's still sitting there, because every time I do it, I'm just like, this sucks.
So how do you practice? Like just going to town on people? Like
Yeah, the next step is just on yourself and a friend that's willing.
I told her I let Sam have Gavin tattoo me for the first one, so it's only right that I let Tara's apprentice tattoo me for her first one too, you know?
Yeah, Gavin's actually going to tattoo me in a week or so.
Yeah, sick. He's awesome. He does great work. It's very bold.
Who's this?
It's, Gavin Riston.
Gavin
tattoos.
Riston.
I'm
Shout
too
out.
old to be getting tattooed like that, though. I'm already nervous.
I hear you.
I'm going to cry.
He's quick. He's quick and
What do you
smooth
mean
with
though?
it.
Like he's quick, or is he like heavy-handed, or is he like?
I don't
you're
even
just
think he's
afraid
heavy handed. He'll bang it out real quick. I've seen some
Oh my
really
God,
big
that's
pieces
what
that
she
he
said.
does in very short time and they're clean. But he uses big lines. You know.
Chonkies.
Yeah, chonky boys. That's right.
Chonkies.
Yeah,
But
shout
that's
out,
all right.
Shout out to my man Sam too, man. Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
Sam
Yeah.
Ravenberg.
For sure.
Fuck yeah, good kid, man.
We leave his picture up in the lobby.
Vacation
Oh
forever.
yes, that's awesome.
And I have his toolbox in my station.
That's fucking sweet. That's so good to hear, man. I miss him. I was actually on vacation when he jail. If anybody's really wondering, but
Sure.
when he passed, and
Shout out vacation.
yeah, right, vacation forever, dude.
That's right, man.
Oh fuck, man. That's what he called it too. He's like, dude, just gotta go on a little vacation.
Yeah, that's right. You're
Yeah.
coming back for it in the end.
Yeah, it was what it was, man.
Yeah.
And but that's cool. And like, so when you're coming up through your apprenticeships, how long do you think it took you to really develop your own style?
I don't think I had a style until like the last like 4 years,
Really?
maybe.
Sure.
And when I started, I definitely didn't want to do what I'm kind of categorized into now. I think that's when you like try to force a style, when you sit there and think like, this is what I want to do, and you try to
Right.
make it happen.
Try to be fluid.
It just kind of happened as a combination of like what people wanted and what I ended up being good at, and like the way I draw. I started like drawing with like nibs and stuff, and doing
see
more
how
fine
that-
line stuff like copperplate lettering outside of the shop, and that kind of just made me better at fine line, and then that's trendy now, and then that kind of just happened.
Right.
That's
yeah.
that's
But
dope,
when I
though.
started tattooing, I thought like the Tony C stuff was awesome, and I thought I would do like new school color bond stuff, and
Yeah.
I hardly ever do color tattoos now.
Really,
You're
just
talking like
happened.
neo-traditional and all that? Or like,
Yeah.
yeah. That stuff is cool, but again, it's a very, everything is niche when it comes to the area. Like, I feel like areas have a lot to do with, like, what the art is, the preference, like, if you're up in upstate New York, I feel like a lot of the shit is this real, like, bold, but kind of like cholo style, if you will. You know what I mean? Everyone wants this real black and gray, like a whole sleeve of just. Yeah, they don't even know what they want in the picture. They just want a black and gray sleeve. You know what I mean?
I wish there was some good cholo style people around here.
I wish.
Right, like with the Mr. Cartoon style lettering and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's
that
all
shit's
just
dope.
Yeah, but this is what these people want around here, and you know, again, just what I've seen. I don't work in your guys' industry, but you know, I see a lot of people. It's mostly like people seem to want to have just black and gray shit with. They don't care what the topic is. There's no trend. There's no blend, there's no motive, you know what I mean? It's just, throw a bunch of stuff on me and then throw a filler black and gray shade in there, you know what I mean?
I don't think that's a trend. I think some of the trends that we see up there are people get, like, poorly placed random stamps and call it a stamp sleeve.
Sure.
Yeah, but we also work on a college town, so...
That's some hipster shit, right?
Sure.
To be honest.
You're catching some hipster shit out there, right? Yeah. What college is it?
Skidmore.
Oh man, fuck yeah.
You guys are fucking
ritzy out there, yeah.
Yeah, Skidmore's a very particular population, for sure.
And that's cool. I mean, look, they fill your guys' wallets. That's amazing. You know what I mean? No hate on the people. Yeah, of course.
It is. Most of what they get is cool. I'm just saying that they're not wanting, like, cholo black and gray sleeves. Right. We're in Saratoga, so probably, maybe you're thinking about, like, Albany area. I would say, in general, this area has, like, people want more fine line or black and gray or realism, stuff like that. And this area is just saturated with American traditional tattooers or people that want to do stuff like that.
So am I the only fucking weirdo that just likes to get random shit tattooed on him?
No, I'm a rando. I'm a rando.
I was going to say, because
I got kneecaps.
I have one kind of theme, and that's it. But other than that, it's all random shit. So fuck it, put a bender.
Yeah, right. Look, exactly. Roger Klotz.
Yeah, stupid shit.
So what was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo, 15 years old in the back of a barbershop, Mark Rivers.
I'm glad it was in a barbershop.
And the thing is I left for like 4 hours. This dude never changed the needle, left it in the machine and sat it there on the tray in the back and said, "Come back when you're ready." I'm like, "Shut up. Stop." Embarrassed, but I went back 3 more times. You know,
they used to just leave the machine set up in the old days.
Yeah,
like in an alcohol well, and
he took his own life in his bathroom because he caught his third strike. Shot up a lethal dose.
Well, that's another good question. Is even in the time that you've been tattooing, how have the machines evolved? I've seen some fucking...
Well, the obvious answer to that is, like, everybody uses rotaries and nobody used rotaries when I first started.
Like neo-tats and shit like that.
Yeah, or even, like, pen-style machines. Yep. To be honest, that would be part of the struggle when you first started, was trying to get your coil machine to run right.
Yeah, well, that's part of the battle, right?
I'm good with this. What Colby just recently did was trying to even just, like, hold a coil machine for the first time, and I guess I took for granted how intimidating that could be, because it's...
balance.
Yeah, I mean, it...
And that's the big doofy
It moves.
Right?
Well, yeah, sure. And you have to know how to tune that machine. I mean, it's
that's what I mean. So if you're just starting and you probably have some garbage machine to start out with and it's out of tune all the time and you're trying to tattoo, you're probably fucking it up.
So as an apprentice, would you suggest them starting there with a rotary machine? Or
I think it depends. My opinion on that is it depends kind of on the style of tattooing you're going to do.
Right. Do you want to learn the original or something like that, or is it more intricate than that? Like, do you want to learn an original style first and start with the real machine and hear it the real way, or is that not a thing, really?
I mean, I think I'm definitely going to have her run both of them.
Yeah,
sure, get familiar.
If I meet someone and they never ran a coil machine, I might not say it to their face, but I'm probably going to, like,
they're
a little bit less of them.
Yeah, sure. And again, you don't have to rock it, is what you're saying.
It's kind of a respect thing, too.
You have to know it, yeah.
I never use coils anymore. It's just... one of the biggest reasons for me is just you can use so many different sizes without having to set up a million machines, which I have enough machines to set up a bunch of coils to do it, but it's just so much easier. And for traveling and stuff like that. Right. And if you stay consistent with the same thing more than anything,
you're going to get good at it.
Yeah, you can't like flip back and forth between a bunch of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, well, you're
I think I left it up to you, right? I was like, do you think you want to rock coils or rotaries? Because you're going to have to pick a horse and ride it.
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to try both. But
yeah.
And what did you think? What did you think about holding that, like the original machine?
I definitely did better with the rotary.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, really?
A lot more control, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what is it, stylus or...
It was not a stylus, but...
A stylus was a brand they used to make, but
yeah,
it could be the term for just a pen rotary.
Yeah, like something like that, right?
Oh, actually, you were using a Bishop Phantom.
Yeah.
That's what you were using.
Yeah, I'm a couple years out of the game as far as what's going on, but you know what I mean.
How long did you apprentice for?
Not long. but I worked at the barber shop, and I spent every day in the tattoo shop, and I absorb knowledge like fucking things that I enjoy. I absorb it quick, you know.
I do remember you being at the tattoo shop like
every day,
more than some of the people that worked there.
Yeah,
like,
because I enjoyed your guys' company. Sam, you know, even I don't even want to mention his name, but you know what I'm talking about. This big man, Big Tom, fucking guy. But no, so all right, Colby. So here's a question for you, right? Were you an artist beforehand? Did you have artistic ability? Was it something you enjoyed doing, or was it something that you picked up from working at a tattoo shop?
Yeah, I always enjoyed art, but I never thought I was good at it. You know, in high school, I took every art class that you could, because I did. I genuinely enjoyed it, but I remember making something I thought was really awesome, and I got a 40 on it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I always felt super discouraged, and then... Yeah, I ended up working there and being around the artists every day and seeing what they were making. It was inspiring and...
Sure.
Yeah, so I just started drawing. And then really once I got, you know, my iPad, that's when I started doing it like every single day.
How cool is it having those things now, too?
Yeah, oh my God, the iPad's got to be such a help.
Yeah.
I love and hate it.
Yeah, it takes away from the...
The real, it's true.
Sure. So I noticed a little bit from like your sticker pack. It seems like you have a pretty traditional style, at least right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's neo-traditional, but it seemed mostly traditional, kind of bold lines, few colors. You know?
Yeah, so far, you know, like she said, I think people will tell me that all the time, like, oh, you can see your art and know it's you and you have such this specific style, but I don't feel like that yet.
Right.
I feel like I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do, and I think I'm still definitely in the early stages, and it's going to change a lot.
Oh, sure. I mean, you know, just behind us, it's a replica, but Salvador Dali. I mean, the guy's stuff changed weekly. It's like, you know, there's no way to pin down the Dali, but there's every way to pin down the Dali. You know what I mean? Like, artists have their own flow, their own creativity.
So do you feel that it's better coming from an art background and then developing the skill of tattooing? Like I'm speaking to you because obviously you have experience, you know. But sorry, Colby. But
I've seen some people with some really good fine art backgrounds that struggled because they just like couldn't seem to comprehend the limits of the particular medium.
Right.
And things that you shouldn't do in tattooing because of how it ages, which is ironic for me to say because I'm the queen of tiny tattoos. But
at the same time, if you
it can be a little bit of a crutch, and also like we're sitting here talking about style and stuff like that, and like right now tattooing is so big that like you can pick and choose what you want to do, and you could I could probably just put out what I want to do and just book that and not do anything, but it's actually a service industry,
right.
So most of what you're doing is what people want and just trying to make it look cool as much as you can. And eventually you have like, that's where I say like your style just develops from like kind of what people want, which is part of fashion and trend too.
Right.
So it's kind of keeping up with everything.
If you're trying to just do what you want in the style you're trying to do, you're just going to be like swimming uphill.
Yeah, you're going to corner your market.
You have to find a way to make the market work for you and like just do the best job you can, even if it's a trash idea.
Yeah, well, right, because I'm sure
you got to put the Colby Crescent spin on the garbage idea.
Yeah, sure. The Sheer Tarah spin on a fucking on a complete trash bag of a fucking tattoo. Yeah.
No, I've seen artists or tattoo artists say like, I don't want to fucking do this tattoo. Like it sucks.
Yeah.
Right?
I also think that's like good that we have a couple assistants or apprentices at the shop coming up because they're like so excited to be in it that it's kind of like a check for us that we've become the old curmudgeons.
Right.
And like I do love all my clients, but it's hard not to get burnt out with some of the ideas and some of the things.
Sure. Fucking monotony.
Respect to curmudgeon too.
But when you have someone behind you who's like so stoked to even like to be there, do it, or watch you do it at all.
It's inspiring.
Well, you're teaching a craft.
It makes you check yourself to be like, wait, I'm actually just lucky to even talk to this Karen right now.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, some people fucking suck. You know, like,
oh, yeah.
A lot of people fucking suck.
Right, well, sure. But I'm just saying, in this customer service and the service industry, it's not always fucking fun for you guys. You know?
Yeah, it's a lot of work to actually like maintain a busy schedule. The only reason that I'm able to like book as much as I do is actually because I've been paying her to do my booking for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I get so many like people don't realize like I've had people email and then message me on every single platform and be like, I've been emailing you and not getting an answer, and it's been 36 hours. Like, and it's like on social media that I'm booked out like 2 months. So, like, what does it matter if I didn't respond to you in 36 hours? Like, what the... And, like, that does not help. It does not help your case whatsoever. It's just...
Yeah, right. I'm not going to want to work
You
on
can't tattoo all day, and you're talking to people while you're doing that, and then you're supposed to answer all these emails about tattoos you're not doing for months anyway.
Right,
I mean,
right.
It's really just...
And they want to ask you every...
It's like gone are the days where you could manage it all yourself.
Right.
Really.
Right.
If you're trying to tattoo all day long.
Well, I mean, Booksy is like one of those things that everyone informs me I should get for the barbershop. And it's like, no thanks, because most of my clients are older. But like with you guys, I don't know if they have something that's equivalent to that or if Booksy works for tattooing as well.
We use like an app that sends out like automatic texts and stuff like that. I've actually had a couple people text back the word stop thinking it's going to stop their notifications.
Like, legitimately.
You get one like 4 days before your appointment and then another one 2 days before and another one the day of.
I'm about to get a second phone.
I don't get
just
no-shows very often.
call. I mean, and you guys probably feel the same way. I get phone calls at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. Hey, can I get a haircut tomorrow? Motherfucker,
Really?
I don't know.
I'm not calling anybody.
I'm sleeping. I don't have my book in front of me. Like, what are you talking about?
That's part of why I just do email, because I hear other people I work with complain about that
horrible.
stuff. But
It is horrible.
Well, I'm assuming, too, because a lot of them want to rush you on ideas. And like, hey, are you developing my tattoo?
Yeah, I mean, they're
like,
excited,
man, you're booked out. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be excited, too. But, it's like you said, if you're booked out 2 months, 3 months.
You can only do so much.
Right.
it's just nowadays it's not really like a same-day service thing anymore.
Right.
Oh, dude, there's certain artists. Like, I've been trying to get into Don Demers for a long time. Again,
He does one a day, right?
1 a year.
One,
No, I don't
He bangs
know.
out one a day, I
Shout
think.
out to Don, man. He's been
OG.
decent to me, right? But yeah, it's like booking out like 8 months, 9 months. And it's like, all right, dude. Yeah, I'll catch you on the flip. So. But yeah, like, that's cool. So you guys have been staying pretty busy then, obviously, right? So how many are you doing a day?
How many tattoos I do a day definitely depends on how big they are.
Right. So like time.
Usually I'll do like 2 half-day sessions or like a bunch of smalls in a day.
Nice.
I do a lot of small tattoos, so sometimes there's a lot of them in there.
Shot minimum's decent though. Hopefully, at least you're not fucking breaking your back for nothing.
Yeah. We do a lot of piercing at our shop.
Cool.
Which our owner is the piercer, Brian.
That's cool.
On the weekends, it's like not uncommon to be sitting there for like hours. Like our lobby is the place to be. She has a hard job on the weekends for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, gets pretty busy.
Yeah, it's insane.
No shit.
Yeah, so what's that like toggling trying to be an apprentice and also work in the front desk? Like she said, obviously Tara said that you spend your off time doing the apprenticeship, so like you must not have a lot of time to to focus on multiple things. Obviously, you're working on art, you're working on trying to figure some things out as far as a whole new career goes, and then you're also working. So it's like how specific does it need to be for your master to, like, is she teaching you shit that's real specific or just random shit? You know what I mean? Like, hey, we got to go in and shade like this, or is she teaching you, hey, we have to learn how to pull clean lines? You know what I mean? What do you learn first?
Right. Well, honestly, we need to devote more time to it. Like, it is hard because I do the front desk stuff and it is so busy with the piercing. So I draw as much as I can. We'll come in on days off and do apprentice stuff. But right now we're just we got another girl who's learning how to pierce. Mm-hmm. So once she gets the hang of it, I think we're gonna try to switch the schedule around so that I can actually spend more days just completely in the back and watching Tara and learning stuff like that.
Because as of right now, she is like being paid to work the counter. So she can't. Right. But we did just start being more disciplined about it because I do realize it's been a while since we like first said we would do this, and
So how
been hard.
was
but like the way our shop is, like we can't not
have a counter person. It's
sure.
Yeah.
This day and age, you have to. You're booking, you're doing a lot, you're integral.
Plus, she has to work, and that's honestly the biggest struggle for most people in tattooing is you got to get over that hurdle of like you're not going to get paid to learn the tattoo for a while.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when I did a small, short apprenticeship, it was like the guy that I worked for was doing it like he was trying to teach sushi to someone in Japan. You know what I mean? It was like fucking, you wash my bike with a white cloth first. And, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't, you're not drawing today. What do you mean drawing? You know what I mean? So that's why I ask, like, what's the level? Obviously, everybody's different, but
so I feel like she's got a leg up because she's been working the counter for so long, and that was a big part of like my old school apprenticeship was like answering the phone and doing the scheduling and like a lot of the stuff that she just has fallen into doing right now anyway.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you have to know all of the business.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, you just gotta not get paid. Like, we'll buy you lunch, but you're not getting paid for it.
But you're going to buy me cigarettes today, so it's really an even trade.
Kodiak Wintergreen. I still remember what kind of chewing tobacco they fucking wanted.
Yeah, go to Storts and grab me a couple things.
Well, it's the equivalent to an internship. So it's the same thing. And you're learning a trade that is definitely pays.
Oh, man,
like,
for sure.
Fucking pays.
Yeah,
and if you're good, it definitely pays, and it's definitely valuable if you're an artist also.
Yeah.
And it can make the transition, like she was saying, I'm good, Kenny, thank you. And then make the transition.
Right. So. Yeah, I've been trying to make money, like I've been making the sticker packs, the coloring books. I was doing some delivery jobs for money, and then I got into a car accident
on our way to the tattoo shop
on my way to work and messed my car up really bad. So that was like a huge setback for me, and so yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna figure it out.
I'm pretty sure I wrecked my car when I was an apprentice.
Yeah.
And I lived in Rensselaer, my apprenticeship was in Hudson, and that's how I ended up figuring out that you could just get to Hudson in 20 minutes on the train for like $15. And then I started sleeping in the shop. And I would just like take the train back every couple of days.
Patsy's a couple times.
At least they had a shower there.
Not when I was there, they didn't.
Oh, we make jokes about living in our shop all the time. If we had a shower, like, we would have everything else we need because our shop's huge.
Mm-hmm. Google does it. They let their employees sleep there and live there, and they got pods for everything. You can get into a pod and have, like, a sauna steam or fucking...
At Google?
Yeah. Dude, Google is crazy. They got, like...
It's that Silicon Valley shit.
You're allowed to have your kids there, like, full-time. Like, they have full live-in nannies at Google.
Ugh, I ain't working there.
No fucking kids.
No kids in the fucking shop.
No, but it's completely separate. Like, it's completely separate,
Oh, that's funny shit.
There was an ad in one of the... There was an ad in one of the tattoo, like, supplier circular things that comes in the mail to the shop all the time for a place to tattoo on a cruise ship.
No shit.
Yeah, a casting call for tattoo artists on a cruise ship. I mean, there's a few obvious questions I have with this right away.
Absolutely. Right.
Is it hurricane season?
Where? Yeah, where's this cruise going to?
Have you ever been to the Bermuda Triangle? I'm just curious. I want to know if that's where we're going.
I mean, yeah, but they're out there, for a couple months? 3 months? 4 months?
3 to 6, I think.
Something like that, so maybe pull one a day. How many people are on them things? Shit.
I mean, I feel like it's got a range anywhere from like maybe, a couple hundred to a couple
Maybe
thousand.
they only tattoo waves and they just hold the line to your skin and the boat pitches the wave into your riblets.
Yeah, they only allow you to tattoo when you're on fucking...
You only have to get waves on your ribs.
That's that hipster shit.
Right?
Just the squiggly lines.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Everything turns out looking
with that being said, though, do you travel around to these expos and shit? Like, do you guys, like... Go make a fucking presence.
I'm dying into the...
No worries. That is a common...
Yeah, actually, Colby will be chauffeuring me to the Baltimore convention.
No shit.
Next month, yeah.
All right.
And I'll be working a booth by myself, because usually you split like 2 people, but it's so tight.
Sure.
And then we were trying to do a 2 booths with 3 people, but it's just so hard to make it travel with other people sometimes.
Hey, you gotta do what's comfortable. It's
especially if you're
Baltimore.
gonna be an artist. You can't be cramped up and fucking get there.
I did Baltimore on a whim just because it was one of the first conventions that was like definitely gonna happen with the COVID rules or whatever. And I have to say the people were so nice, and it was like by far the busiest and most profitable profitable convention I've ever worked. Like, we just, from the minute it opened to the minute it ended, like, people wanted us to tattoo them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because conventions are a lot of work. Like, I'll never do the Philly convention again.
How many people are usually, like, at that place? Like,
it can vary. Like, the Baltimore one, I think it was smaller. It was, like, 300 or 400. And then I just did Philly, and that's, like, 800.
No shit.
Like, the list of vendors is, like, 3 pages long. And that means your line to pack up and leave. I think we were sitting in the van for like 3 freaking hours.
Yeah.
Just to leave?
Yeah, just to unload to get to the loading dock to unload your stuff.
Damn, so you got to be there 3 hours.
And this is after like working for 3 days.
Right.
And also, if the convention's that big, you're walking such distances to get back and forth. I feel like I'm just complaining, but it felt like such manual labor, you know? No, it was just a lot of work.
So how often do you try to do any of these things?
I try to do a couple a year.
Yeah, sure.
That's cool.
I just kind of started doing them though, like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, sure. So is that something you recommend someone do early in their career?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't recommend you tattoo at it until you like or just secure it tattooing. Because even once I'd been tattooing for a while, the first couple of times I was at a convention, I was like, do I even remember what I'm doing?
Sure.
It's which I kind of feel
you kind of question yourself.
Yeah, anytime I'm at like a new shop or around a new group of artists, I
sure.
Well, and
that
it's a
little bit of
free-for-all.
imposter syndrome.
Well,
it's a lot of work.
There's nothing. You have no control over what comes to your table. You know, anyone could really bring anything to you. You know,
you could book it out. You could say no, but yeah.
I mean, any idea is so random. It's not like with me, I got, there's 30 haircuts that could be done. There ain't no more than that. You know what I mean? Like, someone could come to you and go, I want an octopus with a fucking clock as an eye and a fucking dicks for suction cups.
I try to just do the drawings I bring at a convention, and then sometimes people will talk me into drawing something custom for them to do, and then usually 3 people walk up behind them and want something out of my pre-drawn book, and I'm kicking myself.
Yeah,
I could have done I could have done those tattoos faster, and it was like something I was already looking to do. But
so now, how does that feel? As
I usually just do it honestly, just to walk around and see a sea of better tattoos,
cool,
and different things. But eventually, it feels like you see the same people over and over again. You do see a lot of repetition. I would say the one thing I noticed the last expo I was at is like with everyone drawing or finishing their drawings on their iPads, which I get is how we're all making stencils nowadays, and then they put their drawings out like that, everything looks the same.
Right.
Even if your finished tattoos look different, like when you're walking down the convention table or the convention aisle looking at those tables, everything just blends together.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like nobody stands out. You get like a couple people with the hand-drawn stuff. And everyone's like, look at that weirdo with his like coffee-stained actual painted flash over there.
Yeah. That's wild. So like the iPad kind of really changed the game for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely makes finishing a drawing a lot easier. I think it makes a lot of stuff look too clean. I think people get into bad habits with shortcuts. Right. Yeah. And that's where there's a lack of style. That's why there's so many tattooers that look exactly the same.
And then when you apply it on a person, it's just mundane, right?
I mean, sometimes the application can be a lot different, but... like if you're going to trace a photograph of flowers and add some beads to it, I mean, we could all take the same thing and tattoo it. It could come out 4 different ways, but it still just looks like...
It's generic.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I got you.
And stuff like that, like, it's not a big deal, but if you're trying to... Like, she was saying people look at her drawings and know that Colby did it. Do you want someone to look at your tattoo and know that you did it?
Right.
I mean, because you can definitely make a cool tattoo career out of just looking like everybody else.
Sure, yeah, of course.
It's like flash work, right? It's like just picking out of the book.
I guess that's what I was saying, where like your real style is how that happens and you don't realize it's happening.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, you didn't realize that you're shading your flowers different than everybody.
Right.
So I guess this is kind of a question for both of you, but do you prefer an intricate tattoo? Like a challenging tattoo over something that's like, all right, let me bang, like it's fucking little whatever. You know what I mean? Like just like something out of a flash. Would you rather put it together?
Most of what I do is like, I do have to put it together. We don't really, I mean, it's like faux pas really to copy stuff nowadays.
Right.
Unless it's something basic. So it's not really about preference. Like some people could do it, but that's just not like where my moral code's at.
Sure.
Like even little birth flower bouquets, which I do a lot. I would say 9 out of 10 times, because she answers my emails, she sees it.
Yeah.
they send the same picture. Then you could just Google birth flowers, and like they just want that flower in a bouquet, and I try to talk them into changing it every time, because otherwise I would have done the same tattoo on like,
over
people.
and over.
But I mean, like people aren't coming in and going, "I want a Burt Crack gorilla."
Not from me.
Right.
I mean, why'd you come to me for that?
I
You'd
don't
be
know.
lost.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like,
Right, but
but sometimes people are like, "I love your Instagram," and then they'll show you a picture of something they want. Like, someone who also works with us that does like mainly kind of traditional stuff. And they'll be like, "Oh, I love your Instagram," and then they show him like some cholo shit, like you were talking about.
Right.
And he's like, "Where in American traditional land do you see this soft shaded lady head?" Like,
yeah, right. Native American lady head with fucking blood dripping from her eyes.
But it's like there's a disconnect for the basic consumer. They don't realize
they don't
the
get
difference.
it.
Yeah, I feel like younger people collecting tattoos kind of get it, like younger kids. People 30 and under get it. People over 30 still don't get it.
Yeah, most people just don't look at the fact that it's a craft. You know what I mean? And there are different techniques and different styles to crafts. Like,
and there are people that can do, like our buddy Jake could do a traditional and he could do like a realistic tattoo.
Sure.
There's people that can do everything, but most people know.
Yeah, I feel like that's a matter of just your comprehension. You know
how much you want to apply it.
Yeah, right. And some people can comprehend all the different techniques and styles of, that require them, but it's not necessarily that you don't want to do it. It's just, it's how you prefer, like same way I prefer to cut hair. I prefer to cut like old school. I don't prefer to cut like, all clippers. I use scissors. So it's the same tech, it's different, but it's the same,
I thought that was because you learned on cutting lady hair.
I did.
He did.
I did learn on cutting lady hair. I like cutting lady hair. It's simple. It's easy. They smell better. It's better. I like it.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Shout out to my male customers. Love you guys.
Shit. Yeah, man. That's funny.
Camping on that, my bad.
Pass that shit, Kenny.
I know. Fucking camping.
Yeah. So, so you said that you did small tattoos, right? Is that like your preference? Like, is that your style?
I just kind of became like pigeonholed as the tiny fine line tattooer, sort of in a way.
All right. So,
or I guess you could say I do like illustrative line work, tiny line. So it was never a conscious choice. It just kind of happened.
But
I do other tattoos too, but.
Sure, but that's what like people are coming to you for now. Like, with these.
Yeah, it just kind of happened from like, so when you're taught to tattoo, you're basically taught to do that. Most of the stuff I do is too small, and that it's not going to age well. And I just took the attitude of trying to take the stuff that I hate doing, some of the stuff that I hate doing, and trying to like take your weaknesses and make them your strengths,
make them better, right?
And after I just banged out a couple of those fine line tattoos and they came out really clean, I just started doing more of them and like. Just, I don't know, it just...
Got better.
Now it's, like, satisfying to me to do a small tattoo that's just, like, some line work, and it's just done, and you're over it. You're not, like, working on the same thing for hours and hours, and then I'm like, why isn't this over yet?
Different layers to shit.
And it's this satisfaction of, like, this crisp thing.
Like, I
get a strange satisfaction out of just like one tiny typewriter letter that's like perfect.
Yeah,
but that having been said, it only takes a second for it to not be perfect, and that's not very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, then you're backtracking, trying to figure out how to make it. It's like a obsessive compulsive mind, right?
Well, that's probably another good question though. Is just like, how have you dealt with have you messed up tattoos?
Absolutely.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. So,
absolutely.
Like,
I don't care if this is a public... If any tattooer says they haven't fucked up a tattoo, they are 100% liar.
But I'm not saying that they wouldn't say no, but that's what I mean from coming from you. How have you dealt
to be honest,
those?
I think I was a pretty horrible tattooer for the first 3/4 of my tattoo career.
Okay.
And right. I don't know if it had to do with like the people that taught me. I think a lot of it is what you put into it, because I'm not going to use names.
Yeah, sure,
but
sure.
I could think of 3 tattooers that way back in the day all worked together and are all in very different places now. And it's not just time. Like 20 years later, you could own a crazy successful tattoo shop and people are waiting to get in with you. Or you could be tattooing down at the fucking Legion.
Doing house parties.
For fucking 50-cent beer night.
Or you could just like kind of be a joke. that thinks he's doing like crazy good color realism horror shit.
Sure.
Like it's just time doesn't make you better. It has to be what you put into it. And I didn't start getting better until I started working at a shop that actually had enough people coming in for me to get enough needle hours in, and actually started working on like drawing and layout and like I said, I think my line work got so much better when I got into like calligraphy outside of the shop and like drawing lettering, and it just made you like aware of each hand movement.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, like how the machine moves with... Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And a lot of times when you're working at a shop and you're doing walk-ins, you can only get so better so fast because you're trying to make every tattoo happen on the fly.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't have like that much time to really think it out or map it out or make it that good.
Yeah, because walk-ins are expecting it.
But it's also like I stayed consistent and worked in the same place and stayed reliable for a long period of time. Like her and I and this other guy, Brian, all worked at the same shop before it was this shop for years, and we saw lots of people come and go. So it's
sure.
Like I said, you could be a flake, you could be a weirdo, you could do whatever. Like it's what you make it in this job.
There's a lot of freedom.
Like, much. Yeah,
but there's a lot of that also in the industry. There's a lot of flakes, a lot of fucking people who think they're a lot better than they are.
Absolutely, and you can still make a good living being a flake, and you can still do some crush some good tattoos being a flaky motherfucker, and that's why.
Yeah.
But it's just the life you're trying to lead. And also, if you're not good at tattooing yet, you can't be fucking flaky yet.
Right.
Yeah,
you have to put your nose in the grindstone
before you start abusing the craft.
You can only fuck around as much as you can get away with. And like,
sure.
I think I was basically fucking around and not getting away with it for a long time.
Well, I mean, but then you turn the corner, right? And now do you feel like it's bettered your career now? Do you think you're booked out, obviously?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the best thing I did was go to Saratoga and stay in the same place.
Dope.
For a while. Which isn't really the same place anymore. So I don't think we really want to talk about that.
Yeah, well, I mean...
whatever you do and don't want to say.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, why... I mean, I guess why isn't it the same place? Like,
so we worked at this place called Needleworks, which was like
and this
a
is the
shop
place
that was open for forever.
Sam was there with you, right?
Sam was there with us.
Right.
But basically...
Oh, you know Sam too?
Yeah, she worked there with him.
Yep.
Dope. Shout out again, Sam.
Shout out, Sam.
But yeah,
so basically we all woke up one day after we had only been back to work for like 3 weeks after the shutdown, and someone that used to work there had said that our boss had molested him years ago.
Shit.
So we were all like,
molested him?
Well, my appointments are canceled. What are we doing? Like, what are we gonna do?
Sheesh.
I will say that like nobody ever like helped that dude out after that. We basically ostracized him from his own shop. Like a couple of us finished out like a week or two of appointments and like stole that cash and fucking ran.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, especially when it comes to like, that industry. You could really have that justice, like.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really weird situation. I feel like we still get heat from it because now we're in the same spot. Yeah. We didn't want to be in the same location.
Sure. You want to be
it's Saratoga, and like everything's already there. So it was like a long few months where nobody knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was really scary. I feel like I was one of the luckier people that worked there because I ended up getting to go guest spot at an all-female shop, which is like the best thing if you're in the middle of a sex scandal. You could be like, I'm at this happy all-female shop. Come to this safe place. So I just moved my appointments. I mean, because at the time I was booked out for forever. What was I gonna do? And we caught flack from people. Like I to this day I don't understand why the response to to that is to talk shit about people who work there. Like people made like crazy comments about like her and stuff like and us on the internet.
Really? So
like our boss molested people, so make sexual comments about us.
This is random people or is this people?
On the internet.
Oh, it was crazy on the internet.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm from South Dakota. I drove home and I stayed there for months until they figured out what was going on.
Jesus.
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not the real victims in this situation, but it was an unfortunate situation,
right,
in a lot of ways.
But it's turned into a positive.
It definitely turned into a positive way because I feel like we were the people that ran that fucking place for a while. Me, you, and Brian, and now Brian owns the shop, and we just work for him. And
you guys are crushing it.
Yeah, basically, it worked out great.
But that's dope, and that's a pretty cool story. You know, you guys they had to go that way. It is what it is. Like, you want to fucking be that guy.
Yeah, it's got to go left to go right.
But the fucking internet's weird, man. Yeah. They're fucking pieces of shit.
It turns things crooked quick.
People are weird.
I just had my account hacked on Instagram. Like, that shit's crazy.
People can't call you out for being a scumbag if you don't do scumbag shit.
True.
Well, it's not even that. You could have scumbag muscles on the internet. You know what I mean? Fuck you. People say whatever the fuck they want. They don't care, man. They haven't gotten punched in their face.
So many troll accounts, too, man.
Oh, it's terrible.
Fucking stupid. So, but there are them fucking creeps that'll find out, like, weird shit about you.
But it is pretty crazy. Like, she got hired at, like, were you 18 or 19?
I was 18.
At Needleworks as the counter girl.
Yeah.
This is like 4 years later. 3 years. I can't count. I tattoo, not math.
Almost 5 years. Yeah. It'll be
that's fucking wild.
Soon. Yeah. Yeah, it's such a different
So I can see why you want to get out of the counter. I couldn't imagine working the counter at a tattoo shop for that long.
Yeah.
People are idiots. And that is with all the respect in the world. But most people just don't know what they're talking about, you know, but people are fucking idiots.
Yeah, but I have a lot of practice dealing with people by now that, like, I think that is one thing that there's great artists that have terrible customer
I could think of one right now.
Yeah.
Terrible patience too.
So
you know?
At least I've gained a lot of knowledge from working the counter at least, but definitely.
I think you've learned the business aspect.
I've kind of grown up around these guys. It's really weird.
We've watched you grow up. It's been pretty wild.
Yeah, so.
But that's a very cool dynamic too.
Super cool that you get to come up under that, and then you're developing your shit, and then it's like now
I've watched Tara grow so much from when I met her.
Bitch, I was already 30 when you met me.
But how much you've changed, and especially your style too. Like
for sure.
For sure. You know that you've changed a lot.
And what's funny is I've known Tara since I only knew Tara's style before that phase. Like
bad.
Not even that. It was just shout out to the phase. Shout out to those days. They were good though, you know. Tara, honestly.
I don't know if that's a style. That's like when apprentices argue back when you point out and you did something wrong and they're at that tattoo and they're like, I meant to do that. That's my style. Like, okay, unsaturated is your style. Cool, bro.
Sweet.
I can't wait to be tattooed by you though. Like that's the reality of it. You know, like I want to get a Muppet because I know that you're a big fan. You know what I mean? Like I want that. I want Animal bad.
So, Animal, of course.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Or Gonzo. Gonzo would be sweet.
Gonzo seems a little more you than Animal.
Face.
Yeah.
That's your first face tattoo.
Oh. Gonzo with the big nose.
I have that cosmic weed nugget that Sam did on me.
That's like I love that tattoo. That was the greatest.
What, you got the cheese wheel, right?
The Wu-Tang cheese wheel. It's terrible. It's wonderful, but it's terrible.
Wonderful. Yes,
it's wonder. Yeah.
It's Sam, bro.
It's wondersome. There's some mystique to it.
Well, he tattooed my shin bone and he was such a pussy about it.
My shit was supposed to be cheetah print. It looks like a cheese wheel.
Yo, he put cheetah print in everything for a while.
Oh my god, stop it. It does look like cheese.
Yo, it does look like a cheese wheel.
I love Sam to death.
Oh my god.
We should just put Swiss over it.
Yeah.
Swiss rules everything around me.
Yep. Hilarious.
I love him. He did one of my forearms here. This was something that I had made up, and it was like supposed to say "grim in the teeth" and the barber underneath. And
that was the one that I thought someone else did. Remember?
Yes, I do remember that.
I
do remember.
She was supposed to do it. Who was supposed to do it?
No.
Oh, I gotta know now.
So. Yeah. I don't know about...
See, this is why you can't have me on a podcast, because I just want to talk shit, and you never know who's going to listen to it. We're just going to move on.
Yeah. Right. Big beard, long hair.
Moving along.
I heard you make a reference earlier, too, and it was...
Not veiled enough.
Not for me, anyway, but But yeah, no, I know.
Oh, both of them weren't veiled enough.
But this is him.
Yep.
It's like the best one he ever did, ever.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to tattoo a person. That's so exciting.
I told her she could tattoo me if she wants. I'm all down for it. When you're ready.
So how do you feel your semi-apprenticeship is coming along?
Right.
She really hasn't done much stuff, really.
No, but that's what I mean. Even at this phase, like, what do you think? How do you think it's gone? Like, you said you're tattooing a guinea pig, right?
I haven't tattooed the guinea pig yet, but
Okay,
I tattooed, the grapefruit. That came out a lot better than the fake skin stuff.
Yo, that fake skin stuff is garbage.
It is really bad. It's
straight
hard.
garbage.
Sure.
That's another thing is I want to tattoo a person because I can't really tell the depth and how the stencil. You can't even wipe the stencil on that thing. Like,
oh, really? So it's kind of tough to deal with.
Yeah, they're all kind of a pain.
I just want to get a real feel for it, but at the same time,
I'm with it. I got space on my legs. I got space.
I mean,
let me know. I'll pay shop minimum.
I don't think that she'll have a problem getting people to volunteer.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Oh, sure.
It's just a matter of I really don't care. You know me, I don't care.
I mean, you put so much faith in her.
Well, I put faith in you.
How did the grapefruit...
I think Casey was very impressed. I showed him the grapefruit today. He'd never seen it.
Your grapefruits were very good.
Casey was really impressed. I think Casey was like...
Oh, Jesus.
I did twice I've done.
Ripping the place down.
I'm trying to move my
So
eyebrows.
did you try to do like a design on it? Like,
I just kind of like did little designs all around them.
We did discover that the only way to stencil the old skin shit is the old school way with the speed stick.
Yes, with the deodorant, yeah.
The speed stick. What? I remember Jeff making a mixture.
What are you talking about? So,
Really?
Alright, so enlighten me. What is this?
Back in the day, you would just
style.
melt speed stick and like rubbing alcohol. Everybody had their own magic blend. Sometimes it was like Dettol, rubbing alcohol, melted speed stick, witch hazel, whatever fucking you wanted to throw in there.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Or you would just buy the speed stick and rub the same stick on every person. Maybe use a paper towel.
Yummy.
Lube. Personal lubricant was an ingredient for some of it, yeah.
Damn. What was it?
All right.
Personal lubricant.
Good to know. Glad it's evolved in those areas.
Yeah, now you just buy
stuff.
no,
it hasn't. No.
Yeah, right? That's cool. So the grapefruit came out dope, though. You guys agree, right? So...
Yeah, good. Okay. I would also say that she did the grapefruit with like no direction.
That's true.
Cool.
Because it's we're just trying to squeeze in time like outside of regular working, which I do have a tendency to work more than my regular 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So if I'm working an additional 6th day, I always tell her and give her the option to come in.
Sure.
And she was doing that like without me like watching it at all.
Oh,
just recently dope. Did I like for the first time actually like kind of actually show her how to tattoo and like help her a little bit.
Stretch on stuff like that either.
Yes,
right?
that is definitely, and stretching is like the biggest part of tattooing. Yes,
yeah.
So
that's another thing.
She's like starting to tattoo one-handed because it's just fake skin, and I'm like, I don't care if you're not stretching, but if you don't put your left hand up there, like,
right.
She was so offended.
I'm like, at least pretend you're stretching.
Drawing, yeah.
So now, how do you teach her how to determine like depth and like obviously you get lines and all that shit.
Yeah, it's a different medium. Yeah, how do you?
I mean, well, I've never had an apprentice before.
Sure.
Okay, all right. No, that's I'm just wondering.
It was a situational thing that we weren't like looking for one. She just earned it. Cool. Actually, I would say that you started doing doodles, and Matt Marocco was like. Said that you were the coolest person there and that you should tattoo.
Yeah.
And that kind of put the idea in our head.
So we do a shout out to Matt,
Yeah, he's always been very supportive.
Yeah.
No, but that's good. You have a great place to grow in.
I would you get a sense of maybe I could compare it to like a clutch. You feel more with like your left hand. You have to teach her to feel, especially if she's going to be using rotary. She have to just like feel the point where it like penetrates and goes in.
Sure.
Because you can't like see.
Right.
I mean, but you can see what it does when you do it wrong. I don't know. Am I watching her and telling her when she's doing it wrong? I guess I'm going to find that out.
Right. So a little bit of his anatomy. I mean, you have to know that there are 3 layers of skin. Or is it more?
Oh, come on. Don't ask me all this shit when I'm all high and drunk.
But you know what I'm saying,
there's
right?
like 7,
there's a whole,
but you're in between like the first two, second and third, or third and fourth.
The first, couple.
You're like not going all the way in.
So you get blowouts if you go too deep, and if you go too shallow, it doesn't stick.
Yeah. I will also say for any tattooers listening, you will get blowouts if you keep outlining with that super oversaturated fucking black ink.
Knowledge bomb.
It happens afterwards. It drifts under the skin afterwards. Stop outlining with triple black. It's public service announcement.
There you go. PSA. I love it.
Yeah, no, but that's things you learn along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through experience.
I mean, honestly, like, you can't gatekeep tattooing nowadays anyway. Like, there's you can learn how to tattoo from the internet. And anybody that's not willing to admit that nowadays is, like, full of shit. Like, there's so much shit on the internet.
Yeah, YouTube University.
You can sit there and make the same mistake a million times, and somebody could maybe see you and correct it in 10 seconds, or you can make that same mistake for a year. Mm-hmm. And I definitely can see in tattoos, like, problems I had in the past, like, problems that are obvious to me.
Is that
now.
A matter of ego?
And I'm like, I can't believe I made that same mistake for forever.
Is that ego, though? Is that a lot of, like, artists will have ego and think that they're too good to take a tip?
Or just not getting the tips.
I got you.
Or maybe you know the tip, but halfway through the tattoo when you're struggling, everything was out the window.
Right.
You're just drowning. I don't know.
You go back to what you know. Yeah, sure.
I mean, I think a big part of tattooing is fucking tattoos up and still... Yeah.
But that's a
making it work.
thing,
and still, coming out your front door the next day and trying again.
Well, but
that's gonna happen.
I fucked up haircuts, that's for sure.
No, but that's... Yeah, but
shit.
They can grow that motherfucking
I mean, they say...
hair back.
I mean, there's that corny saying...
This tattoo you fucked up.
No, that's serious shit.
It's serious shit. And that's a part of learning. And
I mean, there's definitely a point where you should definitely call it if you're just like...
It's an armless hamburger.
I'm not trying to say that hacking people up is good, but
but you make it
for
work
the course.
if you can.
Yes. But you shouldn't try to do it on your own because somebody could save you like tons of struggle right away.
Sure.
A lot of it is where you are. If you're working in a shop that expects minimum from you and you expect minimum from yourself, you're
that's
just
what you're
going to do the same thing for 5 years.
You get out of it what you put in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that everything's picking up and everything's coming together for you guys. Like, that shit's huge. That's dope. And it sounds like a dope environment to learn in. So...
Yeah, so let's give you guys a shout out quick if you guys have anything to shout out before we jump to the next segment. If you want to give yourself a plug, one at a time, you know what I mean? Like your tattoo, your business, if you want to do that.
Well, my Instagram is just at my name, which is Tara Haran.
How much business do you pick up through Instagram?
I do all my booking through email, so I don't know. If you message me on Instagram, I kind of ignore it until you email me.
Sweet.
Nice. It's a good fact to know. Yeah. Very good fact to know.
Yeah, especially if you want to get touched.
We both work at Battlefield Piercing and Tattoo in Saratoga.
There you go.
Where's this? Where in Saratoga is this?
It's on West Circular Street by the high school. Our boss Brian does some bomb piercings, and we got some great jewelry up there.
Yeah.
Cool. And the artist top notch, obviously, and the front desk help is amazing. Yeah, so
who else do you have? Do you guys have any other artists up that way?
The full time artists are me and a guy named Casey Cressore, which is Cressore.
I don't know. Yeah,
Krausor. No, that's
German. I guess it seems French to me. I said it was German.
sounds French.
French
or
to
like
me,
that.
right? Yeah.
We have a new guy named Josh, and I honestly don't know his last name.
I don't think
Yeah. And then we have my homie Jake, who actually works in South Carolina, and he comes up here like once a month.
Kind of moonlights.
He is tattoos by the Dutch. Or by the Dutcher or something like that.
The Dutcher.
I don't know. Go to Battlefield and you'll find him. But he definitely tattoo circles around lots of people, and he could do all kinds of different styles.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
I feel like you didn't talk much.
Well, you have so much
No,
more
we're not
to
done.
say.
We're not done. Okay. We wanted to jump to the next segment.
I love listening to you. It's very insightful for me, actually, to hear you answer questions like this. Like, I feel like I learned a lot just listening. So
Yeah.
I will say it definitely gives me imposter syndrome, like, for sure, which I think is something tattooers probably feel all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like, why are you asking me these questions? Isn't
well,
there someone
You're
cooler
doing
to
really
talk
good,
to?
though.
In the next segment, we're going to ask you guys different stuff.
Well,
too.
think about it from my perspective too. Is like also same here. Is like I'm sitting here fucking interviewing you guys for a small audience. You know what I mean?
Your friend.
So it's like
yeah.
it's fun
Let's
for
try
us.
not to offend the small audience.
You know, anybody that's listening to this podcast is not going to be offended, dude. I'll tell you that much.
If anything, they're probably going to show up and try to get tattooed.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, in any event, it's definitely dope to see the shop coming together. So Battlefield, Saratoga. It's Battlefield Ink and Piercing.
No, Battlefield piercing and tattoos.
Piercing and tattoos.
Piercing comes first.
Sure.
I will say Brian owns the shop, but I
Yeah.
came up with the name.
Right.
I just want to put that up.
So now, do you
Marketing.
do piercing too, or not just tattoo?
No. I did do a little bit of piercing when I first started tattooing, but those were different days. That's like when tattooers would just wield a piercing needle to make a couple bucks, if I'm going to be brutally honest. Like, I never knew what I was doing.
Hey, you gotta make it happen. But this is why I was saying, like, the industry's evolved so much, because like I've known tattooers for a long time, and it's like I've seen them evolve, and shit was wild back in the day.
Yeah.
Like,
In our shop dynamic, you definitely could not pierce and tattoo because both are so busy.
Yeah, sure.
You could not put all of your all into both of them.
right.
Which is a good
It
thing,
might work for
you
some
know?
people, but
But
in
you're
certain
kind of stringing
dynamics,
yourself out too. You string yourself out and fucking, and you, like you said, you put your focus into it and you develop the style that fucking people want. Like, people want that shit. Like, you're known for it, or it's like booked out for it. So that's cool. That's fucking really cool. But Battlefield, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Sweet, get it.
So,
I would love to see when you actually start to tattoo human beings. That'd be awesome.
it'd be great.
Because just the evolution of this shit is funny to me, because it's like I couldn't imagine even starting on a fake skin or like a grapefruit and holding it, and like I'm not an artist either, so disclaimer. But same time, to have that, like, I would be so scared. It takes a lot of confidence.
the first time I tattooed a person, I was terrified, and it was definitely not the best situation.
Yeah.
It was like one of the guys was working on some tribal, and it was already on there. And so he's like, just work on shading in this black and just stay in the center and don't go anywhere near the lines, because like we don't want you to like color outside the lines. And it was like a coil machine, and I'm like terrified and I'm shaking, and everyone's like passing around a bottle and drinking, and like in all reality, the only reason he had me start tattooing this dude is because he didn't want a fucking tattoo.
He didn't want to do it.
And I'm sitting there, and I don't remember what I was doing, but he was worried about one thing, because he was like gassing me up, and he's like, "What are you doing? You're just like tickling him." He's like, "You hear that? When it bogs down, yeah, you want to do that, which is not what you want to do."
You wanted to bury that shit.
But he's like, "What are you, a fucking Sally?" He's like, "You better go." He's like, "You better think you're the shit if you're gonna tattoo." Which he's right, and that's why that there's so many Type A personalities in tattoo. Because if you don't think you're the shit, if you don't think you're gonna do a really good job, then like, how fucking dare you tattoo that person?
Yeah, don't fucking dare.
So he's like, are you going to do this or not? Like, and I do think about that, like, sometimes.
Fuck yeah.
When I'm terrified. Although that was, like, a completely not good situation for your first tattooing of a human. He was right in a lot of ways.
But at the same time, you build that confidence to do it. And
bury it in.
to bog it down. Damn, that poor guy. His tribals, his shit will stay forever.
That guy had a third nipple, by the way.
Nice.
I definitely remember he had a third nipple.
I remember apprenticing the two. It made me... There was a chick that was a little OD about her tattoo, and she would come in, and she was a little unique, to say the very least, and she got her tattoo on her ass. Only tattoo she ever had. And she came in, and she thought I was cute, so she wanted me to clean her tattoo off.
Clean her ass?
Yeah, just wipe it. I'm like, come on, man. You don't really want me to do this, right?
Where was this?
Unique Arts in Lake George.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, man, I'm not wiping her ass cheek. You can go down and wipe it. So I had to go down and wipe this very awkward chick's butt cheek. Like 4 days in a row.
She was just stopping by the shop for you guys to clean off her tattoo for her?
I swear to God. On my son.
That sounds wild.
It was wild.
I'd probably say no.
Yeah.
Listen,
we would be like, we ain't got time for that.
It was.
I beat it.
But they were like, look, you go down there or get out. And it wasn't like trying to haze me. It was just like, I'm not doing it. And this lady ain't leaving until it's done. So someone's going down to do it. And you're the low man on a totem pole.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy service to provide, though, because you're not a doctor or like.
But that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
You don't need to be a doctor. It's not a service. If you can't wash your own tattoo, you can't get a fucking tattoo.
People cross lines, man. In these industries, there are so many like.
People are so
shades
weird.
Of gray.
Okay, so I've definitely become friends with clients, 100%.
Oh, hell
but like
yeah.
that process just happens. It's not like you're ever like, hey, you want to like be my friend? But I've had people do that.
Sure.
So I've had like, we were like outside one day and like, well, I think she like bullied me into giving her my cell phone number or something. I don't remember. And then it becomes weird because you have like these long tattoos with these people.
Right.
So if they start like kind of not really reading it properly, like, so I don't know, she just like shows up and we're all standing outside shooting the shit and she's just like,
obviously
hey,
there's a specific
she knew that she
situation.
like knows what time the shop closes.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you doing right now? Do you want to like hang out and go to Target or something?
Lady, no. I'm not going to spend every dollar you just gave me at Target right now.
It was I didn't even tattoo her that day. Like, she just rolled up to the tattoo shop and was like, hey, Tara, you want to go to Target? Like, I've never felt so weird from, like, another person asking me to hang out. Like, it was like a creepy dude asking you on a date, and you're just, like, in front of somebody, and you're just like, what? Like,
that is weird.
You get really weird things, or people try to give you weird gifts, or I've got all these, like, disabled people that stop by. Actually, or like one that emails me still. That's like super cool. Like,
sure.
But there's this guy who's like, you know, kind of, I don't know. He's not like retarded. He's got like palsy or something. But like a Saratoga local, like most people would know who he is. His name's
super
Tommy.
sweet.
He's very sweet. He like draws these pictures in his book.
He brings us drawings all the time. I have a huge stack of his drawings.
But that's
and he like stops by all the time to talk to us, and he gets tattooed, and the other guy sends me movie recommendations. He's always like bringing in gifts, and like in some ways that's cool because gone are the days of like weirdos coming into the tattoo shop, to be honest. And like that's the most you get is like these people that you're nice to that
there's a dude
just
brought in
like
like
a
a fucking
socialness.
$5,000 necklace to
that's what I'm saying. I want the black trash bag of like counterfeit goods to walk in.
I know it's counterfeit sometimes too. That's the beautiful part of it is sometimes guys are walking in with guitars that are worth $8,000. Do you remember that?
I mean,
oh my god, I do with the stolen guitar.
Yes.
And you bought the stolen guitar, or Shayna did, and they returned it. That was wild. That was wild.
Like a $8,000 guitar. Shayna bought it for like fucking $70. Some dude came into the shop and was like, "Hey, I got this guitar. It was played by Dizzy Gillespie." You know what I mean? Like fucking shut up. This shit came back as legit.
The first day I ever worked at the Needleworks, which is like, I'm thinking I'm going to work in Saratoga. You know, I've worked in Albany, I've worked in Schenectady, I've worked in Denver, I've worked in Hudson.
Denver's crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I worked in like a more upper class area of Denver, but...
Where in Denver? Just curious.
I can't think of the name of it because it was like years ago. But anyway, first night at Needleworks, I'm locking up for the first time, and I thought I set the alarm off because I see these lights. But some dude had stolen steaks from the Price Chopper down the street, like frozen steaks, and he like shoved them all in his pants, and the cops like chased him to the parking lot, and they pinned him to the parking lot,
literally
for the steaks. And I'm like, dude, I thought I came to fucking Saratoga. Like, what is going on?
There's crazy people. Like we get some weirdos in that parking lot. It's a shortcut, you know, to the
people
Price
rip
Chopper.
through it.
Yeah.
So, but there's always weird people. We've had people just dead asleep outside. Like, do you remember?
That's so wild to hear in Saratoga, though.
Oh,
yeah, like we
so
expect it in
many
downtown
crazy
Albany,
things.
but
that's
what I mean. Troy, downtown Albany.
There was dudes that took shits on the front door of the tattoo shop in Albany.
yeah.
Luckily, that hasn't happened. But like, you don't always see all the weird people that come in. Like, we do get weirdos.
Sure.
It depends.
I remember
on
the
day,
guy
too.
that was asking for a cigarette and tried to say that he was like so-and-so tattooer back in the day, and he was like, I made my own guns. You don't know who I am.
He
And
was
like, I think I like the minute I heard him,
you did, Vic.
I'm always like I'm like weirdly big sister about like Colby, and if like people get weird, I'm immediately like, let me kick him out. And the minute I heard, like, I see this like vagrant looking motherfucker come in, so I'm like listening while I'm making my stencil or whatever. The minute I hear him ask for a cigarette, I come out there. And that's when he's like, "Oh, who are you?" And then what did he say? You're kind of pretty for a cunt. Did he say something like that?
Yeah, he did say that. Yes.
Yikes.
And then because I was like, "You gotta go, man." Plus, he didn't have his mask on, and it was like mask time.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I used to make my own guns. You don't know who I am." And I was like, "I don't care if you're fucking Jesus, bro. You gotta get out of my lobby."
First of all, put a mask on. Second of all, walk out the front door and never come back.
Wow.
He was like, you're not too bad looking for a cunt.
Damn.
Wow.
I was like, thanks, bro. Get the fuck out.
I appreciate the sentiment.
That's so great. Yeah, I'm still baffled that's happening in Saratoga.
I think about him randomly. I wonder if he wants someone.
I wonder if he's okay.
Maybe he was a good tattooer back in the day. Who knows?
So what's like the weirdest tattoo you've had to do?
No, people ask this all the time. But I'll just answer. My go-to answer. So we did have someone email the shop.
I
like,
already know.
Well, yeah, she already knows. She's like,
know.
I've heard this
Is
story.
it the same
I'm
as
the
the
one who
weirdest
read the
customer
email.
that you've
I'm the
dealt with?
first one. Huh?
Is this the weirdest customer you've dealt with?
Oh, no,
doesn't-
not at all.
But it
Alright,
is
alright.
one of the most unique
Unique.
emails.
Okay,
So
so
it's
we'll get
just
to that then
Alright,
after.
so,
like,
yeah,
yeah, we'll get to that after.
It's the first thing that comes to mind when people ask that question all the time. But it's someone that emailed and said that they were transgender in the email and that they wanted to get their genitalia tattooed.
Oh.
And mentioned that it was like a cover-up. And so she comes back and reads the email, and of course everyone's like, oh, I'm not doing that, or I want an $84,000 fucking finder's fee.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, tell them to come in for a consultation, because obviously you're not going to ask someone to send you a picture of their genitals.
Right.
Sure.
But the cover, it just didn't seem professional. So
Absolutely.
the person rolled up. They definitely had a vehicle that expressed that they could afford the tattoo. And they had other work done. And were serious about it.
Sure.
I didn't feel uncomfortable with the person at all. So, and I look at the tattoo, I quote him on it. I didn't really realize what it was until I went to start it, but it was actually someone who had surgery to change from a woman to a man.
Okay.
And then decided that they weren't happy with the lower surgery, so they went back to a woman. But they still presented as a man. So, like, the person I was tattooing was a man, but the bottom surgery had gone out and back again.
Right.
Sure.
So, and that stuff's not, like, perfected
Sure.
going one way. It's definitely not perfected
yeah.
going the back way.
Yeah, sure.
So, and... I mean, if I'd have realized that right on, I probably would have been more likely to take it on, because that's, like, why they were at the point of just wanting to, like, tattoo it. And they wanted, like, flames coming all up into it, and, like, a skull, and...
Quintessential... The crazy
They had
shit.
reached out to, like, so many people.
Yeah, that's what I was
And
gonna
so
say.
many people had just turned this person down, like, right off the rip. Had probably never got
And
to
that
it.
sucks.
I bet
Yeah.
if any of these people had actually just done a consultation with this person and realized that it was actually just, like, a legitimate tattoo request, and it wasn't just... Or they probably thought that it's considerably harder to tattoo, like, a male genitalia situation than a female one. So I did do it, but also the client was one of the most... like, anal retentive clients, like, would send emails that had, like, 12 pictures, and they were, like, A1, A2, A3, like, I like this from this photo, and this from this photo, and then it was a cover-up, too, and with where it was, and it was, like, a lot of scar tissue, I was like, homie, I'm just drawing a skull on you, and flames, and, like, that's what's gonna happen.
You're gonna get what you get, yeah.
And somehow I was able to make that slide for someone that seemed to be so picky in the beginning, and I made it work. And we actually were watching one of those, like, inked interview things on YouTube of Jesse Levitt, who's, like, an insanely good tattooer, who I don't know personally. And they ask, what were these tattoos that even you wouldn't do? And I swear his description has got to be this person.
100% it was. When we watched the interview, because, like I said, 100% it was this guy.
No shit.
And, like, even in the email that I read, like, I was going to say, Tara's the only one that was professional about it. In the email, this person said, I've tried to reach out to so many artists. Nobody will take this on. Would anybody at your shop do it? And like she said, I walked back there and everyone was like, no way. I quit. Oh yeah, for $50,000 I'll do it. And Tara was like, tell him to come in.
Yeah.
So
well, no,
I do think that's kind of
professional.
unprofessional.
That's super fucking professional, dude. You listen. You gotta set judgment aside.
Something that most people just don't give their thought to.
A tattoo's a tattoo, and you have to take it by the person.
You're being a piece of shit.
That's exactly what it is. But they're not putting their mind to it. They're just giving their fucking ego.
But I also,
to it,
like I said, I think a lot of people saw that the name was male and thought that they were going to be tattooing a dick.
Sure.
And
right.
no one wants, no offense, it's fucking hard. No one wants to tattoo a dick. And I think that's what he said. He was like, I looked at this email and it was like someone had a surgery and it was a cover up or whatever. And I looked at the email and I was like, sorry, I'm not tattooing your dick, bro. And I think that's what he said in the interview with something like that. So he probably didn't even get that far.
Right.
Plus, there's not even enough room, like in that, like, I mean, he does insanely good tattoos to like have done. And to be honest, what I drew on that person 100% ended up looking like the Iron Maiden thing. Because it was blue. Yeah, it looks like the Eddie Iron Maiden thing with like flames coming out of it. But, oh man.
Good shit. I mean, but still, you handled it super professional.
I did, and I've always thought the concept of like a handler's fee and stuff like that is unprofessional. Like, you're either comfortable doing the service or you're not.
Or you're fucking not.
And if you're not comfortable doing the service, you should just not be doing it.
And don't shit on somebody for wanting it to happen. You know what I mean?
Like,
because no matter what anybody thinks, it's still a service to be done for someone. And
it wasn't as hard as you would have thought, actually.
Now, again, I feel like the client's difficulty also reflects the price, though, too, right? I mean, in some way, if someone's
I definitely could have charged more, but I have, like, I have a bleeding heart. I never charge.
She does.
But I mean, look, I've charged people a little bit more, $5 more service if they like. I'll charge someone $25 instead of $20 if I'm doing their beard and their hair if they're really being a pain in my ass.
I'll hit you with the stink
because that's
charge.
the real price, like
if you smell, you will charge.
Yeah. I remember one time. Oh man, it was in 2 shots.
If I could bust out the bubblegum scented ointment to cover up your stink, I'm rubbing it under my nostrils.
Yeah, the fact you gotta say ointment is already a bad deal. You know what I mean? Like, we know there's something going on.
Yeah, you should be
rubbing Vicks under my nostrils. Are you sick? No, but you just stink.
You should certainly be hygienic when you show up to a fucking tattoo appointment.
Yup. Really, any appointment where someone else is going to deal with you,
Yeah, but I mean, dude, there's been times where I've like showed up to get my hair cut after work. Like, I smell like construction. You know what I mean? But like, I don't smell like shit.
Smelling like construction for one day, and an old man coming in and hasn't washed his hair in 8 years.
Or his ass, right? Yeah, sure.
I'm not with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'll cut your hair, but bro, let me wash your hair too. Like, let me do you that service. Your shit is funky.
Yeah, but I would never show up to a tattoo appointment like coming from work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course not. But I remember specifically someone showed up and had the barbershop and the tattoo shop stinking.
I mean, it happens all the time.
Ugh. It was.
I would say also like people wear clothing where you can't reach the spot you have to tattoo, and it's like, and then they're like weirded out when you ask them to remove part of their clothing.
Sure,
and it's like I cannot. I have to reach the spot to tattoo.
Right?
I don't want to ask you to take your clothes off. Trust me, it's awkward. We're all afraid of saying the wrong thing. Can I just see the spot you need to tattoo? Or like I tell the story all the time of like a girl who had just turned 18 and she was getting like the little heart outline on the side of her boob, and I'm like in my mid-30s, so sometimes it's hard for me to gauge if if it's someone's boyfriend or their dad. I mean, my age meter's a little fucked right now. But so there's the guy back with her, and I'm setting up, and obviously she needs to take her bra off. I'm like, so is this like your boyfriend, your dad? And she's like, it's my dad. And they're looking at me like I'm weird, and I'm like, okay, so is he going inside the curtain, outside the curtain?
Right.
And
I just need to know.
And I just put it in front of him because, like, I'm sorry, I'm not tattooing your tit. Like, literally on your tit with your shirt off in front of your fucking dad. Like, I respect him coming and, like,
he shouldn't want to be in there.
Sure.
I'm uncomfortable with your dad viewing your breasts in front of me.
Yeah,
That's more uncomfortable than me having to tattoo your breast.
Or I remember this guy and his son coming in to a shop I worked in, and they each got like one side of their nipples pierced, and then they were like, take our photo, and they stood there and like, we're a complete set.
Like, nah, fellas, I'm good. I'm set on that.
Like father-son bonding.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but you know, like there are two old fellas that leave my shop once every 6 months after they get their haircut, and they hold hands, and one's like 88 and one's like 70.
That's sweet.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's sweet, but. Like, if you're getting your nipple pierced with your dad, there's a little bit of a different dynamic there. Sweet. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, I could see a dad taking his son to get like his nipple pierced or some shit.
yeah, but
But not a dad taking his daughter.
no.
People call for that too.
That is true.
I've been working in tattoo shops for years, and people have always, ever since I worked in tattoo shops, people have called to ask if they can get their like 16 years. Can they sign to get their underage daughter's nipples pierced?
So how is that?
It makes you want to like screenshot the caller ID and like go to their house.
Right, like first of all,
already
even
fed.
if you're just trying to be a supportive parent, like I
No,
feel like
no,
yeah,
there's just no, there's no even to that story.
Like a girl is not developed. I feel like at that point, I don't know anatomy like that, but no one's developed at 16
Is it always
years old.
dads? Doesn't it always seem to be dads?
It's always a male voice.
Really?
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Oh, it's super
Yeah.
creepy.
You
That
guys
is
must
fucking
encounter
weird.
a lot of creepy shit in your job just because you're working with people's bodies in every form of them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do walk-ins, so I feel like I...
Sure.
No, so you get to pick, right? So you're at a point
But
where
Brian
you've earned
gets
that.
all kinds
You've
of
earned
shit.
that.
And
Yeah, I was
the
gonna say,
piercings.
there are weird stuff coming though.
Brian gets the crazy piercings.
oh, I can imagine everybody.
Some of
coming in
them,
for weird shit.
I'm thinking of someone we haven't seen in a while.
Oh.
Remember the leather guy?
Oh,
The
yes.
leather guy.
Yeah, there's this older guy.
I love him, though.
And
He's
the first
very
time,
sweet.
He's really interesting. The first time I ever met him, he walked in a full leather outfit with a whip attached
Oh
to
shit!
his hip, just hanging down. And so his goal was, he told me to have $1,000 penis.
What?
Because he had got like 10 different dick
100.
piercings, basically.
Oh shit!
And he would come in over time.
I like that you leaned in for dick piercings.
She said that shit's smooth, yeah.
And, well, every time he would
Yeah.
fill out the form, like the consent form, there's a place that says, like, what piercing are you getting? And he would always write cock.
The true OG, shout out.
Well, he's actually a really
Yeah.
interesting guy.
He is
I
really
asked him one time
interesting.
because he's clearly into some stuff, you know?
Sure.
So I was like, and he's into his 70s. I mean, I take his ID. He's very...
That's why I hope he's okay.
Well traveled.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
so I
it's
asked him one
flagrant.
time, like, what's your backstory? Like, why did you... like, you know? He said he used to design exhibits for museums.
Yeah.
Sick.
That's
and
really
then he
cool,
Did
yeah.
Then he did like business offices after that
Yeah,
or
he
something.
seems really like an interesting guy. So.
Yeah. He's also like, I did like a nautical star on his hand, which he came to the
yeah.
shop for years getting piercings, and then we finally asked for a tattoo. I was like, sweet, I get to grill this guy finally. Because he's, like I said, he's definitely one of a kind.
Yeah.
But he got a nautical star in his hand, but to him it symbolized the Star of David, and I think, what did I do it on like Christmas Eve or something like that?
That was so
Nice.
long ago, I don't remember.
Yeah.
A lot of
I have to say it took pretty well to his
technicalities.
hand for him being like 70-something.
So it's
Yeah.
cool though. You guys get some good unique customers.
We do. In Saratoga, I guess that's what I should have said about even all those people I was referring to before. They're all like warm-hearted people. Like fun. It's fun. Like sometimes it's annoying when Tommy stops by.
Yeah,
but
but even like the customers being in the same spot for so many years and having regulars, you watch them kind of grow up too.
Sure.
Sure.
Coming over
they
time,
develop
absolutely.
a taste in
Fresh
art.
And what they go through, that lady who came in the other day who was just going through her divorce, she's like
oh
totally
yeah,
different.
and
Oh,
cancer. Well, she
Yeah,
she
I
had
know.
gastric bypass
Yeah.
and she had cancer and she got divorced. You do
Damn.
you get to know people and you do
Right,
like
yeah.
tattoos to represent all that. Plus,
Sure.
there's a fresh batch of 18-year-olds every year.
Yes.
And then by the
Yeah.
time, from when they're 18 to 21, man, they can change a lot. And I
Yeah.
also could say that my tattoos I've done on these people sometimes from 18 to 21 have changed a lot too. A lot, like it's not uncommon for me, even still now, if someone comes in, I'll just be like, hey, this tattoo I did like a few years ago, you want to like, let me redo that real quick?
Touch it up, yeah, let me touch that shit up, yeah.
Or let me fix that before you leave.
Yeah. But it comes with experience and trends and all that other shit too. So, and being in Saratoga, it's like it's a whole different culture out there.
Yeah. It's
than like
it
an
is
all
higher
day.
end.
It's
You know what I
way
mean? Like,
different than Albany, and
or Schenectady or Troy or any of that bullshit.
you do get just as many cool and just as many annoying people. It's just a different type of annoying.
Yeah.
Like, instead of a how much your lettuce, it's like, I demand service now, and I want this $900 BVLA buffalo plug. Is my $900 BVLA butt plug in yet?
So you guys got all the range of jewelry.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't just jewelry for your nose, your face, and your
No, I'm just saying that to be...
No,
I hear
but
you,
some of the sites we order from, they do have like an adult
Yeah,
section.
Yeah, they got.
And we were looking at some of the stuff on there. It's crazy.
It's probably crazy expensive.
No, there was. I don't know if we should talk about this.
Hey,
stuff.
look, there's no filter here. Yeah, we're all good with whatever.
No, but some of the stuff was like $5. Brian and I were actually talking about ordering one and like putting it in your bag. We were gonna do it today for April Fools, but it wouldn't get here.
I mean, you know, I'm too dumb to get April Fool's anyway.
I know. I played a prank on Tara like years ago. And basically this was back when the shop was still Needleworks, and it's my job to make sure everything's clean at the end of the night. So if anyone would leave food on the table, I would get in trouble for it. And Tara had ordered chicken tenders, didn't eat them. I said, "Hey Tara, do you want these?" She said, "Yes, I want them, leave them." Didn't take them. So I get in trouble the next day. So I'm complaining, and Brian and this other guy that worked with us, they were like, "You gotta get her back, like, do something, like, let's put a chicken tender in her station and like wait for her to notice." So I went in her glove box, and in the very first glove, I thought, because I didn't want it to stay in there and get gross, so I wanted her to find it quickly, I put it in the very first glove and stuck it right back in the glove box, and we thought, okay, she'll notice in the morning. Literally months go by. And nobody says anything. And I even asked the other tattooers, I said, "Hey guys, did Tara ever like say anything about a chicken tender? Like, did she ever make a weird noise when she does anybody?" And everyone was like, "No." So finally one day we broke and we said, "Tara, did you ever find a chicken tender in your glove box?" And she was like, "That was you?"
She's like, "What the fuck is a chicken?"
So you can't even prank her.
I vaguely remember, like, I think I started a tattoo before everybody else got there, like usual or something. I don't know, but I remember setting up, I remember grabbing a glove and the chicken tender coming out and having this, like, half-second thought that was like, no, why would I put that there?
No, there's definitely. I just
went about my fucking business.
Never said anything to anybody.
I thought I did it or something. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't put a chicken tender in a glove box.
Yeah, I might have left this here. Who knows?
I mean, but that's how much of a weirdo slob, like, disorganized person I am. I was like, maybe I put this snack in my fucking hand barrier box here.
Saving this for later. Oh, man. Yeah, that's cool. You guys can play shop pranks and shit on each other.
Yeah, Brian used to prank us a lot.
He tried to get me today. I was real quiet, and I was sitting at my desk, and I heard him say to Ashley, "Hey, you want to see Colby freak out real bad?" So I got up real quick. He had one of those, like, millipedes. Yeah, I hate bugs and anything that is creepy, crawly. And he used to get me with we had mice, so whenever one would get into the
we not
tribe.
talk about the mice at the fucking podcast.
I'm just saying, that was one of the worst ways he's.
I mean, our shop's a big old train station.
Yeah,
So it's like this huge, long building.
Mice are it's coming out of the winter time and shit too.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, we don't
haven't
really
had
have
mice in a
anymore.
while, but yeah, he used to freak me out with that too. Gosh.
Yeah, I actually yelled at him out about that. I was like, this is an unsafe work environment. You cannot chase vegans with dead mice. This is inappropriate behavior.
It's all on video, though. It's pretty funny. Tara's a lot easier to scare.
Yeah, we have a lot of terror scares on video.
She can get scared on accident.
You could make a montage that's like 10 minutes long of me getting scared at the shop.
For real. Like, on accident, you can scare her. Sometimes she does it to herself.
I smoke a lot of weed. I'm like jumpy as fuck all the
Tara
time.
has a couple of scared noises.
Are they different than my cackle?
I was gonna say, she also has a couple different types of laughs.
Yo, Brian has a couple different laughs. One of them, he has a very particular laugh if we're laughing at somebody. And like if we're just laughing at a regular joke, like if the joke's at a person's expense, it's like a He's gonna hate us. Hi, Brian. Yeah. Shout out Brian Mirren. I don't do tattoos.
Oh, that's fucking funny shit.
We've had some good times. We saved some baby birds at Needleworks one time. Ooh. Because they used to, there's like hay in the back of the tattoo shop. And these trucks, remember the baby birds?
How could I forget? And we had someone there who was feeding them frozen raw hamburger meat.
Which baby birds need warmth.
After the lady on the phone even told us, don't give them any food, and especially not anything that's cold, because their bodies are so tiny, so they need, they'll
we should have given
cold.
it like a heat lamp.
Oh, it was so bad.
They were like little baby falcons.
Something crazy.
Where'd you find them?
No, people were just standing outside smoking cigarettes, and the people that drive the hay trucks, which are mostly Mexicans, and I don't think they probably just couldn't speak enough English to know what to do with the birds.
Right.
And they're like, tattooed people. So they like...
tattooed people.
The story that I heard, because I wasn't outside when I got it, was just hear birds. And they put this box down.
Yeah, I didn't know where they really came from.
And there was...
These are fucking emus.
It was one of the truck drivers just came and put them down. And it was like 4 birds, and one of them was already dead. Yeah. But you took one look at these things, and you knew that, like, they did not eat vegetables. You're like, you are a fucking predator.
Yeah, they were crazy
They were crazy looking.
Oh, shit. Yeah. They did not eat.
We ended up driving them to, like, we drove them to, like, this bird rescue place in town. Or this lady's house. We never found out what happened to him. Or gave her that jar, which is still sitting on the counter.
Yes, we have a donation jar for bird rescue still on the desk if anyone wants
Probably
to.
fucking vultures.
We looked up she told us what kind of birds they were, but I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I mean,
I think it was some kind of like falcon or fucking shit, something. Yeah.
It was something crazy, yeah.
Yeah, something that's not even that common to up here because like it was in the truck.
Yeah, it came from somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Ugh.
And I remember Paul was all mad that we like drove to save the baby birds. Yeah.
But he was a vegan too.
What does that have to do with the baby birds?
If you're a vegan,
He should have been
care
for
about
us
the
saving the
safety
baby
of
birds,
animals.
then.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
All I've eaten all day today is sugar.
I know. Yeah, we had donuts today.
Oh, I'm gonna
Delicious
have diabetes
donuts.
by 45. For sure. For sure.
No, you're not. No,
I appreciate you. I appreciate that positivity in my life.
We'll see,
I
man.
mean,
I mean,
How many blunts have we smoked?
Oh, there's been
A lot.
4.
man. Yeah,
I'd say.
4 at least. Yeah.
And I mean, we got one.
I brought a pink comb.
Let's rock it. I got the fucking foot long comb.
That's what she said. They all claim that.
Yeah, no, I have a foot long joint comb.
It's really funny when like the same dude texts Colby and I at the same time.
Oh my god, that has happened. We'll send screenshots
I felt
back
weird
and
doing
forth.
that with you guys just setting up the podcast. I'm like, they're probably sitting right next to each other.
No, I
And
was
I'm
like really busy the whole time, so it was good you're messaging her.
But I forgot you had even messaged me. Like, I read your message, responded, and I went to bed. And then when I woke up, she's like, "You're gonna be on this guy's podcast?" I was like, "Oh." I didn't
Well, because Mike got his hair cut by him.
Yeah,
He came home and he was like, "Colby's gonna be on Joe's podcast." And at first I was like, "Colby never tells me anything."
What I had said to him was like, "Yo, I had just spoken to Colby, and I realized shortly after that her and Tara." So I was like, "That's crazy," because I wanted to do a podcast with a couple women tattooers, and at first I didn't know I didn't know that you were just starting, but I knew that Tara and you worked together. So I'm like, that would be a cool thing to do, is to get 2 women working together in the tattoo industry.
And then Mike happened to be getting one of his
He literally called me the next morning.
Haircuts.
It was so crazy.
One of his
literally the
haircuts.
craziest shit. He called me the next morning. He's like, "Yo, you got any spots today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Like, come in, man. I have to talk to
crazy.
you. That's so weird. It literally 3 times a year I see Mike. Maybe 4.
Yo, he definitely could get more haircuts. I'm just saying, Mike.
When he gets a haircut, it looks so crispy on him. It looks
If you're
clean
gonna
on
get
him.
your head tattooed when you grow a full head of hair, you need to get crispy haircuts all the time.
Yeah.
Some lady in the store thought, like, his head tattoo was, like, cut into his hair. And she was like, that haircut's really impressive. That bird looks so real.
I got all the credit for Mike's fucking tattoo. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I tattooed his face. That was pretty crazy.
What was that like?
I mean...
Oh,
face
I don't think any tattooer wants to tattoo their significant other's face.
Oh, man.
You're just like, do I want to look at this every day? It's like nerve-wracking, you know?
Sure. Absolutely.
I think about tattoos I did on them like 7 years ago now, and I just want to like scrub them off.
Yeah, but...
Luckily, they're not on his face, so...
What did he get?
A dagger, a knife.
Nice.
Something like that.
How big was it?
Not very big. Last time I just came home with the fucking cross on my face randomly.
And she matches with Casey.
Matches with Casey. Yeah. Just randomly got a matching face tattoo with my coworker for no reason.
Fuck it. What else you got to do, right?
You gotta rock it. Yeah, right.
I mean, when you could do that too, and you like, did she do yours? Or Casey?
He. Casey is a he.
He.
Yeah, he did my face tattoo.
And you did his?
No, his was done by someone else.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've done other tattoos on him, but yeah.
That's still cool.
I wish I didn't tattoo my face a little bit.
Really?
Kinda. I don't know if other people with face tattoos are willing to admit that, but
it works for you.
I mean, like, once it's on there, fuck it, you might as well just add more.
Yeah,
but, like,
We were just talking about it.
if I never got, like, a shitty neck tattoo when I was younger, I would have never got the neck cover-up, which pretty much goes onto my throat, which gave me an excuse to tattoo my face, and, like, here we are, so... And I started, like, with baby ones. I started with the fucking sangria glass on my face, like, really small. Like a little baby one.
I was just talking, like, literally posted, like, Facebook, like, last week. Like, I was seriously considering a face tattoo.
Do it, bro. I'll do it. Come on.
Yeah,
Colby's first one.
Yeah.
Let's fucking rock it.
Live, yeah.
Right? Yeah. If I could figure out what I wanted, what I could live with on my face, I would totally tattoo it. Like, no question. But it'd probably be like up here
Gucci
somewhere.
Man ice cream, you know?
Yeah, the ice cream cone.
That shit.
Yeah, no. I'm good with that. But that's what I mean. I don't know what I want.
I mean, I didn't plan on getting the cross on my face. That was, like, random.
Yeah, that
You know what I always thought was a cool face tattoo? Gentleman Tommy's got the North Star. That's pretty cool.
So I was gonna get stars under my eyes, but I don't know what his look like.
But the North Star is that one that's got the long bottom, short top, and then the really... you would know it if you saw it.
Looks gangster. Sounds like it looks gangster.
Actually, yeah, it looks more like a compass without the circle.
Face tattoos, bro.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I never would have thought I always knew I was gonna be like covered, but I never thought I'd have face tattoos. But
So we'll push you over the edge.
I want a sideburn.
like I said, the neck
Fuck
tattoo.
it.
I got this neck tattoo when I was younger, and I don't regret getting my neck tattooed. But I mean, it was also the stupid cliche idea of a devil on one side and an angel on the other. It says free will on the back.
What's
with, like,
up, gangsta?
Oh man, I thought about changing the free will to just like adding a Y and putting like an orca whale in jail underneath it with face tattoos. So it's like like a joke 10 different ways, you know?
Yeah.
Free Willy, my brother.
That's
but
wonderful.
the angel part looked like Chairman Mao, like from China. Like, it was so bad. Like, so we just plowed this over it. And,
oh shit!
and this goes like already. Like, the cover up on my neck already goes so far forward, so I was like, fuck it. I don't know.
Fuck it.
I got the sangria glass on my face when I left the shop in Wine and Skill. And then I got the crystal, and then I got the other. Yeah, and then it was just over.
Yeah, I remember before you even got that. Who did that rose on your neck?
Matt Perez.
Matt Perez.
Yeah. Oh, you remember him? Oh, we got some
Matt.
off the record stuff we can talk about.
Matt Perez. We do got some.
Oh, fuck.
He was a cool dude. It seemed like, I don't know.
He's in Florida now.
Yeah.
Actually, he lives right across the street from where I'm taking Mike for his birthday. In Florida. Like St. Iles. St. Iles or something.
I like Mike. He's a good dude.
I like him most of the time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I love him the rest of the time, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, well, I love him all the time because all the time I see him, he's giving me money and he's providing me with good conversation. So, That's all I gotta do, you know?
Hair.
Yeah, and shoot the shit. That's what I love about my job. I just get to shoot the shit with people all day long.
Oh, shit.
I'm so proud of you for, like, having your own spot for so long.
I love it. Thank you.
So dope.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you guys
so
wanna,
far.
Yeah, anytime you guys want to come
Straight
and get
Razor
spot, I'll
Society.
build a wall.
Build a wall.
I'll build a little wall. You can take the corner. You know, I said that to a couple people. Like,
you know, anytime when someone wants a head tattoo, I'm sending them to you to get their head shaved first.
Yeah, fuck yeah, please do
that shit.
I got you. Anything, as long as it ain't an ass cheek, because of past trauma. As long as I don't gotta clean the ass cheek and shit, I'll shave it back for you.
Yo, I could shave a man's calf in like 15 seconds.
Yeah, probably quicker than me.
That's the hardest flex I got for anybody out there. I could shave a man's calf.
You shave a man's calf quicker than your own, right?
Yo, 100%, 100%.
All right, so we have some other questions to ask you unrelated to tattoos that definitely...
What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Yeah, we want to know. But like, what's the hill you'll die on? Like, what is something that you'll stick to regardless of what people say? You know it's the truth.
I don't have an immediate answer to that.
I know, I wish I thought about this. Okay, well, I do think that the moon landing video is fake. I'm not saying we haven't been to the moon. Debatable, but the video is fake.
Sure.
And that's something that I get in arguments a lot with people because they're like, oh, we didn't have the, the technology to fake that. Like, okay, so you didn't have the technology to make a short film, but you had the technology to get all the way to the moon.
To the fucking
and
moon.
record it and make this video
Sure.
up there in outer space.
I definitely think that video is fake.
It's been admitted by the astronaut, I think the 5th or 6th astronaut on the moon. He's admitted that that's not the truth. We didn't even have the technology to be able to broadcast in real time from there. So It was only a reenactment, and it's admitted now.
It's funny that people argue it, too, in today's day and age.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, people do argue me on that. Yeah. But that is one thing that I'll stand by. That video is so fake. It's obvious.
Fake as shit, right?
There's no wind in space, or at least on the moon. So
it's supposed to be a vacuum.
Yeah, so the moon has no atmosphere... Or a lesser atmosphere, and they don't have wind. So for the flag to be blowing alone is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not in physics possible, you know?
What about you?
I still don't have an answer, to be honest.
No,
okay,
fine.
so do you believe in aliens?
I do.
Why?
No, I guess I don't. I don't know. I believe in, I don't...
Are you religious?
There's probably other life on other planets, but who's to say how, there's at least single-celled organisms.
Sure.
Right, advanced they are, right.
Who's to say how advanced? If there is, it's too far away for it to matter to us anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
That's what they tell us anyway.
See, I believe, right. See, I believe that they're here with us right now.
I guess I do think a lot of disease is government created.
Oh, definitely.
Which I know is a broad thing to say, but
Big Pharma.
I only recently learned that Lyme disease is like admittedly government created from an island and like the deer's escaping. So I guess that's my new favorite fun fact.
Yeah, cool. Share. But that's
Lyme was an experiment.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty crazy.
They were supposed to drop ticks on people in war.
I think probably almost everything is a conspiracy. Like, I don't pay attention to most anything in the news because it's just, like, all fake.
Yeah.
Like, I used to have this book about fucking, and now I can't think of the guy's name because I'm drunk and stoned like fucking Reiki right now. The Roosevelt that couldn't walk. Not FDR. Was it FDR?
FDR was in a wheelchair.
Yeah. So, but they... No, I'm good. But they, like, hid that fact for, like, a long time. Like, when he was president, people didn't know that. Like, they spent so much money. They had, like, trained people to carry him while they were walking him so you couldn't tell. So, like, if they went to all those lengths back then, like, what the fuck do you think they're doing now?
Of course.
Like, this shit's all fucking fake.
Yeah. Yep. Yo, what do you guys think about that Will Smith and Chris Rock shit?
Well, I was actually just going to say that. I think it's fake because, think about it, like, they need a distraction. Everybody was talking about what was going on in
Ukraine.
Exactly. Now, what is everybody talking about? Come on. Smith. There's always a moment like that, and it just gets attention. And, like, it realistically, if some guy got up and just assaulted somebody else in front of everybody,
security,
he would be taken out of there. Mm-hmm. It was 100% that's fake. And anybody who, people are so feeding into this, like, it even looks fake. It's like,
even if it's fake, it's still funny. That's why.
But it was hilarious. But at the same time, like me watching that video, it didn't even look like he really smacked him.
No, it's a movie slap, 100%.
It was like, he didn't even look like he connected with the
It was like...
It's ridiculous.
It's
just that, but that's what...
Broadcasted.
But it worked. Everybody's talking about it. That's all you see on Facebook anywhere.
It has brought awareness to alopecia.
This is true.
Alopecia funding.
Word.
That is true.
Real talk.
Yeah, but nobody really.
But unfortunately,
nobody really
I do feel like that. I don't know. Yeah, there's still negative attention towards her, and that might make some people feel.
Well, not really though, because it's all public.
I mean, who really cares?
Red Table Talk's gonna hit heavy the next 3 episodes. You know what I mean? So, and the same with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the new shit that came out that Will's producing. The same shit with Chris Rock's tour with Kevin Hart, sold out now.
Yeah.
Because people want to hear about him getting slapped.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and Will Smith just dropped that King Richard shit.
King Richard about Venus and Serena.
Redoing I Am Legend. Mm-hmm. It's all, dude. It's publicity.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, right. It worked.
What about? Yeah, right. All it was. Some people have even gone as far as to say in 8K or whatever they see a pad on Rock's cheek.
Yeah, I saw the zoom in on that.
What is it?
There's like a zoom in of a fake pad. Yeah.
You could see a seam under his eye. I swear to God, bro. It's silly as fuck. Yeah.
I mean, if you're digging that deep into the conspiracy of the event, aren't you just feeding into the turmoil of the event?
Yeah, you're right, because you're putting that much attention to it.
You're digging just as hard into it.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Right. Well, if it was real, he handled it very well. Like, imagine if someone just got up and smacked you. Like, that would take a lot of patience too.
There's no level of patience that's going to let a man smack me in the face on live national television.
Of all your friends and everybody.
Your peers, not even your friends. Like people that like...
And live television.
Oh, man.
And then continue to scream at you from the audience. Like,
and they're just rolling, and the cameras are just rolling.
Right?
Yeah.
They didn't even have no one come up and like, hey, are you alright?
It would have been great if someone just
wait, it's a commercial.
That's what I was like, that's another reason we think it's fake. Like,
well, that would have been funny with the World Star shout out.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. I was just curious if you guys thought it was real or fake, because that shit was like, to me, it looked fake as fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's fake, but I know a lot of people that think it's real.
Oh, so same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Will Smith definitely looked like he was in some real turmoil.
Well,
he's an actor.
His life he
just got an Oscar that night. That's the greatest acting award you can get. He got an Oscar that night for his performance in a movie months earlier. You know what I mean? Like, and then he cried afterwards with his acceptance speech for the Oscar, and he said it had nothing to do with the Oscar. It was about the fact that he slapped Chris Rock. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, this is another Oscar-winning performance. You know what I mean?
They're all just actors playing actors.
Well, it's not even that. Think about it. Like, for the last 5 to 10 years, the Oscars have been so low rated. Like, they didn't have... Ricky Gervais was the highlight of the Oscars in the last 10 years.
He didn't host the Oscars.
What was it? The
Golden Globes.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
That's when he talked all that shit about Epstein and pedophiles. And
right. Like, there was no highlight to
They had to get their own ride.
There was no highlight to the Oscars in the last fucking 5
I will
to
say,
10
all
years.
Mike had to say about it is that they're both on the list.
Epstein's?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
He's like, they're both on the list, so who fucking cares?
Yeah. But that's why, to me, being
Epstein's
like...
list.
Well, that's why, to me, it's like all these people are shining now. Like, you're all in the spotlight. And it's like, all you guys are going to sell, all you guys are going to get rich. And
Tom Hanks is a member of fucking Greece. Fully. Tom Hanks gave up his citizenship after that whole coronavirus thing and finding out his name was on the list for Epstein. Him and his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I still really want to visit Greece. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, no.
Seems like a really great place to go visit.
But like he did it.
I don't care if Tom Hanks is hiding out there.
Yeah, no, it's not hiding out. He
looks fucking gorgeous.
He gave his American citizenship up.
Well, yeah, but where was he before that? I don't think he was there. I think he was in Australia or some shit?
No, he was here.
Oh.
Yeah, and he like gave up all of that to be a citizen of Greece right after his name came out on the Epstein list. Because he was the first one to have COVID as a celebrity, him and his wife. They fucking disappeared.
I forgot about that. That's right, yeah.
They disappeared. And after that, he was a full citizen of Greece. And the reason why was because in Greece, like 3 weeks later, the law passed that pedophilia was a disability and that you couldn't be extradited.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I swear to God, you could look it up. It's real shit.
Yeah, we definitely gotta fact check that. But at the same
real.
time, yeah, there were some weirdo laws over there.
Yeah, it just passed in the last 2 years or so.
I mean, my first job was at a Greek diner, so I definitely believe it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. But,
yeah, there's some funk about. You know what I mean? there's some silly shit going on.
Yeah, but that's just, again, it's all these guys that were connected to Epstein, and now how many people got arrested from Epstein shit? The Prince Andrew shit got covered up.
One.
And
he died.
Yeah. Well, Jesslyn's going to go rot in fucking prison for the rest of her life.
Yeah,
so.
we think that, though. Like, you know what I mean? There's no guarantee that that's going to happen. There's going to be no way for us to fact check that. She could be in a fucking Bernie Madoff type situation where she's in a fucking...
Dude, Bernie Madoff's in prison. Or he died, I think. He might be dead.
He killed himself, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to check. But he, yeah.
But, like, sure Bernie Madoff was in, like, a penthouse. Just relaxed.
Well, yeah.
He could come and go as he pleased. You know what I mean? Like, and he had the whole Enron scandal. So, like, it's different when you got money.
Yeah.
So it's like the price of admission. If there's a fine for a crime, it's not a crime. It's the price of admission. If you're a rich person and you speeding ticket ain't nothing.
Don't drink and drive. I'm just putting that out there. Do not drink and drive.
But you see what I'm saying, right? It's for us who don't have money at our disposal, that's a crime because we can't afford to pay it just like that. To someone who's got money, they could pay off a fine, a crime that has a fine as the criminal offense to it. You know what I mean? The only time it becomes criminal where you end up in jail is when you can't pay the fine.
Well,
right?
What was it? Pfizer paid the largest criminal fine in history.
In history, yeah. And it was for making a drug that was...
They were mislabeling.
Yeah, they were telling people that it was doing a certain thing, and really they knew what it was doing, and it was creating more harm than good, but the penalty for the crime was less than what they made.
Yeah.
Say they made $30 million, and this is just a stupid number. $30 million, you know, low number, obviously. The penalty was only $10 million. So they figured, okay, we got $20 million after the fact, so fuck it. Yeah. People die. You know, we won't take it.
You should definitely inject something from that company into your body.
I want to. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
totally.
Line me right up for that.
Yeah, give me that 3 shots of it.
I suppose that's the hill I'll die on.
And maybe next year, maybe next year I'll get another shot just to boost it.
That was a good one. Now, with that being said, we should probably get this shit wrapped up. We're 2 hours deep.
Cool.
So where do you guys see the shop going? You guys obviously on a fucking track going forward.
I don't know. Hopefully
growing.
with Colby in the back.
Yeah.
Do it again. Do it again when she can talk in a few years.
No, hell yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Cool.
Love to see the progression. And as you guys you evolve and start tattooing people, definitely let us know. And
if I got as better in the next 4 years than I did in the past 4 years, then I'd be like kicking ass.
Yeah,
it's just what you put into it.
Hell yeah.
You guys exposure, you know, all exposure is good. So
definitely. And you guys are at Battlefield Piercing and Tattoo.
Yeah.
It's located in Saratoga. Sheer Tarah and Colby Crescent. All right. Thanks for stopping by, yo. We appreciate it. Definitely. We'll plug your Instagrams and shit. We'll plug your fucking the shop and all that other shit. And thanks for stopping by, man. It was fun as shit. Smoking all the weed.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.
Thanks. Awesome. Talk to you guys later.
Peace.